It's a humid morning in Orlando.
That's your future! Hellfire for you!
And the battle lines are drawn.
Murder!
A year on, since millions of Americans were blocked from accessing a 50-year right, an abortion,
You are a murderer!
the debate is as divisive as ever. On one side is a group who believe they're the last line of defence before an innocent life is taken.
I come here to offer help and hope to women that come here.
What if the help that woman needs is to have an abortion?
Well, I'm not going to help anyone have an abortion.
On the other side are pro-choice volunteers known as Swans, who formed last summer and offer to shield patients.
We can help you, young lady.
I'm sure that some patients wish that no one was out here, but if we all look stupid and we all look absurd, then at least they don't look scary. You know what I mean?
It's not long before the two sides collide.
You told someone the other day who had a toddler, you said, oh, kill that one and let the other one
No. I was
Yes, you
using
did.
their own ridiculous way of reasoning. I said, why don't you kill one of them and let this one live?
Do you say, oh, we really could have helped you?
We could have.
But is that something they need to hear when they've just had a medical procedure?
You mean when they killed their baby?
How is
Yes.
that helpful?
12 months on, how are restrictions on essential healthcare impacting America? We start our story in Alabama, which had been blocked from banning terminations until last summer, when the US Supreme Court reversed the Roe v. Wade ruling, and lawmakers in individual states were handed the power to decide. The procedure is now illegal here, unless there's a serious risk to the mother, with no exceptions for rape or incest.
Come on, boss. I'm Allison Molman. I live and work in Montgomery, Alabama with my partner, Steph, and our farm of 2 dogs, 3 cats, and 2 chickens.
Allison found out she was pregnant in January. But on Valentine's Day, her worst fears came true.
I went to the bathroom, and when I wiped, I saw blood. And so I called my OBGYN. She showed us the ultrasound photo, and she just told me there's nothing we can do. This is a pregnancy that just it's not gonna make it. And she got kind of choked up actually, and she kept saying, I wish there was more I could do for you. And in that moment, I didn't know what that meant. I thought she just was giving condolences.
Doctors in Alabama who perform an abortion which isn't deemed to be life-saving risk up to 99 years in prison. While miscarriage treatment is not part of the ban, pro-choice advocates say the way the law is written makes it challenging for health workers to provide care without endangering their license. Allison's doctor could have offered her abortion medication, which speeds up the miscarriage process. Instead, she was forced to wait for it to happen naturally.
It has been one of the worst weeks of my life. Just kind of feeling like I'm in purgatory. I've lost a fair amount of tissue and blood in the last week, and so I'm hoping that everything is passed naturally. I'm nervous. I want this to be over.
Desperate, Allison drove several hours to get help from another clinic in Tuscaloosa. Once one of Alabama's only abortion providers, since Roe was overturned, it's now a non-profit reproductive health service. It promises to offer medical interventions for non-viable pregnancies. So if Allison had come here first, she would have had that option.
It's something that I've seen happen more than a few occasions, where people who would otherwise should have been helped were not. And fortunately, find care here and have that care that they need before something irreversible happens, whether that's death or a hysterectomy because of an infection. Abortion is healthcare. You don't have to like it. But that politicization, the criminalization of this aspect of healthcare makes it so healthcare providers are afraid.
So over the past year, Patients in Alabama who've wanted or needed an abortion have had to travel hundreds of miles, normally by car and often to Florida. Now, this neighbouring state does have restrictions in place, but the 15-week ban is far more permissive compared to other parts of the Southeast. But as I think we're going to see, Florida's reproductive care system hangs in the balance. Once upon a time, the home of Disney was viewed as a swing state, but it's slipped out of the Democrats' reach in recent years. Florida's governor, Ron DeSantis, is one of the leading candidates for the Republican presidential nomination, and his right-wing policies have propelled him, such as his 15-week abortion ban.
These are unborn babies that have heartbeat, they can feel pain, they can suck their thumb.
Months later, he was re-elected.
Florida held the line.
And it was a landslide win. What would you say to people who think Governor DeSantis is just trying to out-Trump Trump? He wants to be the next president, and he doesn't really care about the people in Florida?
I would say that's completely false. He's always very concerned about the constituents. His number one thing is supporting families and ensuring that children are protected and safe in this state.
24-year-old Olivia is against abortion and saw the overturning of Roe as a positive moment for local democracy.
I never really felt that the federal government should have a say in reproductive rights. And so when you bring it back to the state level, you're bringing it back into the hands of the people. I think with abortion, we kind of lose that humanity. We kind of try to erase it in a sense. Whereas if you just allow those mothers to carry to term and give birth, you do kind of have this humanity of at least, that child dying in the mother's arms.
In April, DeSantis signed a 6-week abortion ban into law, with rape victims allowed up to 15 weeks if they can provide proof. It's pending due to ongoing legal action, but has sparked fury. Democratic Senator Lauren Book was arrested after taking part in a sit-down protest and is now fighting for a state constitutional amendment to allow abortions during the first 3 months.
It makes me angry. It makes me sick to my stomach that on my watch, this happened. And I'll work every day to undo what they've done.
Governor DeSantis has the support of Floridians. Do you not have to accept what he's calling for, what he wants?
They may support this individual, but not necessarily all the ideology or the policy behind it. In fact, we know that 75% of Floridians don't support abortion bans in this way.
Don't support 6-week abortion bans.
Correct. Don't support a 6-week abortion ban. Don't want to go this far. I think he's trying to speak to a very specific base of people, an evangelical religious base outside of Florida for his political ambitions and for a run for president.
Research suggests the majority of abortion patients in the US are considered poor or on a low income. Time off work, childcare, and if they need to travel, fuel and accommodation, the costs stack up, with Black and Hispanic communities disproportionately affected. This clinic in Naples treats unplanned pregnancies.
Hi, I'm Anna. Nice to meet you.
Funded by private donors and local churches, services are free, including ultrasounds.
Patients come for their initial exam.
But if a patient wants an abortion, they have to go elsewhere.
I would like to see an outright ban of abortion in America.
Dr. Trandon believes elective abortions physically and mentally harm women.
And the patient will be able to see on the screen.
But the broad medical consensus contradicts her, such as the American College of Obstetricians and Gynecologists, which states abortions are a safe medical intervention with fewer risks than childbirth. So what do you think about the argument that ultimately you are entitled to believe what you want, but that shouldn't negate a woman's right to have an abortion if she feels that's what she needs?
I would say there's 2 patients for every woman who is pregnant. It's the woman and the baby. They can continue that pregnancy, which is protective for them emotionally and physically, and offer that child to another family who is in need.
Back in Alabama, we shared Dr. Trandon's views with Dr. Torres. We've heard quite a lot about the traumatic impact of having an abortion that a woman may go on to regret it?
I would question how much that person had been shamed and stigmatized about seeking abortion care. It's not so much the procedure itself, but rather how our society treats people that is the problem.
A year on since the reversal of Roe, 14 states are navigating a new world where a previously held right is no more, while states without restrictions have seen a surge in abortion tourism. And delayed care means increased risk. But for millions, this new direction is the right one, a lifesaver, and they won't rest until there's a nationwide ban.